Mic check, mic check, mic check. Hopefully this thing is on okay. Good evening, everybody. It is now 9 o'clock, and I'm joining you live with a live look from the Hilton Skycam. We're starting off with this beautiful sunset out there tonight. Hope everybody's doing okay. Wanted to hop on Facebook Live real quick to talk about this heat wave that's going to be happening this week. It's going to be exceptionally hot. We've got just the right combinations of weather ingredients for potentially some record-breaking heat, especially Tuesday, Wednesday. Those will be the hottest days that we have this week. Hope you all had a great weekend. It was just a little bit hot today, not abnormally hot for this time of year. We'll dive into exactly how hot it's going to get and why it's happening and when it will hopefully start to taper off, at least in terms of the extreme heat. But in the meantime, I'll let everybody get settled, and we've got this beautiful sunset happening now over Greenville, so I want you to enjoy that real quick, and then we'll get started. So, like I said, not too bad of a weekend this weekend. I think Father's Day will be not necessarily under a heat wave like what we saw, or like what we will see later this week. I think the heat will level off by the time we get to Father's Day next weekend, so that's good. But in the meantime, let's dive into it real fast. So, satellite radar, we'll start off with that. We had a couple showers earlier today up towards Hendersonville and up into Greenville County, northern Greenville County, that is. But though that has since petered out, and we're nice and dry. We're going to stay dry the rest of the night tonight. So good news there. And really just kind of hit and miss rain chances the next few days. Of course, the big story is going to be the heat. Here are all of the heat alerts that are in effect right now. Earlier this afternoon, this extended as far into most of central Texas and central Oklahoma had the worst of the heat today. They had the heat index up into the 100s, upper 100s, low 110s in some spots. So that ridge that was over them is now sliding this way. You move a little bit closer to our neck of the woods. We do have heat advisories in effect for Alabama, central Tennessee, all of Mississippi, and actually to our east and west. We got a heat advisory down towards Myrtle Beach, an excessive heat watch kind of near Raleigh, just west of Wilmington. Not seeing any alerts for the Upstate just yet, but I really think we'll see a heat advisory pretty soon for at least the southern half of the Upstate, because I think elevation is actually going to be a big factor in terms of exactly how hot it will get and how hot it will feel outside. The higher the elevation is, the lower the humidity is going to be, which means you'll have not as extreme of heat. But the lower elevations, kind of towards Lawrence, towards Greenwood, towards Abbeville, maybe even Anderson, that's where I think the heat index will be the hottest this week, as we get up to around 105, 106 with the heat index. Possibly tomorrow, but definitely starting Tuesday and Wednesday is when the most extreme heat is going to be. And you see it out there right now, 96 towards Dallas, 93 Houston, 90 in Oklahoma City. And that's at 8 o'clock in the evening. It's that hot. So, again, this is why it's happening. You've got an area of high pressure higher up in the atmosphere where the jet stream is. You have sinking motion in the atmosphere, kind of stagnant air aloft, which is exactly what you need for excessive heat. And over the next couple days, that ridge is going to push over the deep south and sit right over top of Nashville, Birmingham, Alabama tomorrow. We'll have a little bit of wind higher up in the atmosphere out of the northwest tomorrow, so I think we get into the upper 90s at least tomorrow towards Greenville and Spartanburg. But as we head into Tuesday, those winds are even weaker higher up in the atmosphere. So instead of 97 tomorrow, we're going to be looking at 99 in some places, maybe even 100 degrees for the actual temperatures, and that's not counting the humidity, which again will be higher in those lower elevations towards Lawrence, towards Union County, towards Greenwood. All those places as you travel down I-26 are probably going to be the hottest places that we see this week. But even as far north as I-85 towards Greenville, Spartanburg, heat index 106, 107, not out of the question when you have a ridge that's this strong, frankly. And that'll continue into Wednesday. You move into Wednesday, the ridge doesn't really move a whole lot. Still going to be really hot out there. Now Thursday, I think we see maybe a little bit of a break with the extreme heat. I think the highs will level off at around the mid 90s, so it'll still be really hot, no question about it, but it won't be, dangerously hot, so to speak, when you get into the hottest part of the day, from noon till around 7 p.m., maybe into the mid 90s for Thursday, but Not as extreme as what we'll see come tomorrow and come Tuesday, Wednesday. So just showing you the future radar real quick. There is a small chance we could get some showers to help cool us off these next couple of days. But they'll be isolated. It's not going to be scattered showers. Vast majority of us are just going to see nothing but heat the next couple of days. You get to 4 p.m., well into the mid-90s in many places towards Spartanburg, Greenville, Anderson, Abbeville. In the mountains, the good news is for you guys, if you're watching in Asheville and Hendersonville, it is going to be hot this week, but probably about 8 to 10 degrees cooler than what we'll see this far south in the upstate. So Monday through Wednesday, it'll get into the low 90s in the mountains, which by mountain standards, that's hot. I have the records right here. The records for Asheville for Tuesday and Wednesday's date are 92 and 93. So we may get close to that up in the mountains, but it's not going to be quite as extreme that far north. Again, in those higher elevations, it's not going to be too bad. But once you get to, especially Tuesday, check this out. Tuesday, 2:30, 98 in Greenville, 99 Spartanburg. It's just going to be, it's just so stagnant out there. And the humidity will be high, which means the heat index will get into the mid 100s probably during that hottest part of the day, from, let's say, noon to 7 p.m. Stay hydrated. Limit your time outside if you can, because it's going to be that ridge, like I just showed you, is probably not going to be moving a whole lot. And the feels like temperatures. Let's talk about that. So Monday, even as late as 9 p.m. tomorrow, the heat index will still be in the mid 90s probably. Let's fast forward to Tuesday afternoon, early Tuesday evening. So there you see it there. Those places further south towards Elberton, Abbeville, Greenwood, that's where the heat index is going to be at its highest on Tuesday. And that's where I think we'll see the heat advisory issued. Now for Tuesday, the most extreme heat is probably not going to be everywhere. It's still going to be hot, but not dangerously hot like we'll see down towards Abbeville and Greenwood. Now, the threshold for a heat advisory to be issued is a heat index at or above 105. So as you see there, Tuesday, we're not going to be quite meeting that in Greenville, Spartanburg, Gaffney, all these places that are along I-85, but further south we do. So we'll be watching for that to be issued soon. Fast forward to Wednesday, though, and the extreme heat moves a little bit further north. So even as far north as Pickens, we could see a heat index of 105 Wednesday. This will be where we have the best combination of the humidity and the upper level ridge. So Wednesday will probably be the hottest day all around area-wise that we see this week. Heat index, even as far north as Greenville or Spartanburg, 105 to 108 with the heat index, not out of the question. If it looks like it'll get into the 110s, then we'll probably get an excessive heat warning. As of right now, that doesn't look all that likely. I think we'll probably just see heat advisories, but the message is the same. It's a week you want to kind of limit your time outside if you can help it this week, especially from noon to 7 p.m. Because it'll be especially hot out there. Now let's talk records. So at the downtown airport, the records for Tuesday and Wednesday's date are 98 and 97. I'm forecasting a high of 100 in downtown Greenville. Now that's the actual temperature, not the humidity, or the heat index rather. This will be the actual temperature. Now Greenville Spartanburg Airport is a little bit different. They have a little bit of a different climate record that doesn't go back quite as far. But the downtown airport, the records go back much further, albeit not quite as complete records. But the last time we made it to 98 and 97 for Tuesday and Wednesday's date was 1885. It's been a really long time since we've seen heat this extreme, for lack of a better word. So just to put that into perspective, last time we saw 100s, I'll have to go back and look up the exact statistic, but the records for Tuesdays and Wednesdays, they go back to the late 1800s, really far back in time. And the at GSP, the highs for Tuesday, Wednesday, the record highs for those dates are 96 and 97. So we have a really good chance of breaking those record highs, if at least tying them, if not breaking them, for Tuesday and Wednesday. Those will be, again, the hottest days that we have this week. So just recapping for the short term what's happening. Mostly clear, just warm the rest of the night tonight. We're not going to cool off all that much because the temperatures will stay warm. The humidity is going to stay high, so mid-60s up in the mountains. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, it'll be definitely a warm start. Low 70s, even mid-70s in Greenville for the lows tonight. And tomorrow, everybody gets into the 90s everywhere. As far north as Asheville, it's still going to be at around 90 degrees. And then you go further south into those lower spots outside the mountains. 96 in Pickens, 96 Greenville, 99 Anderson, Clemson, 96 Clemson, I think I misspoke. 99 is Greenville, 97 Spartanburg, 98 in Union. But Tuesday, Wednesday, definitely be careful, guys, because it's going to be exceptionally hot this week. Just the main message I want to get across. And let me show you the 4-day plus real quick. So like I said, the heat wave, in the grand scheme of things, now sometimes you can get heat waves that last 5 to 6 days. This is probably only going to be about 3 to 4 days. It's not going to be as prolonged as some other, as far as heat waves go. 3 to 4 days, that's not all that bad. I've definitely seen heat waves before that last 5, 6, even 7 days straight. Not going to be that extreme. This will be kind of relatively a short-term heat wave. So I'm going with a high. This is for a 4-day plus for GSP Airport, where it's a little bit further outside of town, not quite as hot as the downtown airport. So I'm going with 97 tomorrow, 99 Tuesday, Wednesday. And there's a chance that some showers and isolated storms could pop up to help cool things off a little bit, but that's not going to be everywhere. So be mindful of that as well. All those impact days that you see there are for the heat, not for the rain chances. So something else to bear in mind too. Friday, not as extreme with the heat. We level off around 94 Friday, and we get a little bit of a push of cooler air starting Saturday. And that will mean not drier conditions, lower chances of rain overall, and just not quite as hot for Saturday and Father's Day for Sunday. Let me show you the 4-day plus for the mountains real quick as well. For those of you watching further up north, a little bit better chances of rain Tuesday, Wednesday, around 30-40%. And again, 90s by mountain standards is pretty hot. And there's a chance we could tie those records in Asheville. 92, 93, those are the current records for both Tuesday's and Wednesday's date in Asheville. So there's a chance we could tie those record highs in Asheville. It's probably it's a small chance we could break those records, but the elevation is the big thing. Asheville sits at around 2,200 feet above sea level, whereas Greenville's at about 1,000 feet. And when you're talking about a really strong area of high pressure higher up in the atmosphere, that's a big difference. 1,000 feet versus 2,200 feet is a difference of about 5.5 degrees. So something that we're definitely keeping in mind as we head into this week. And also next weekend up in the mountains looking really nice as well. Saturday, Sunday, more sunshine. Not a lot of a chance of rain there. So enjoy the Father's Day weekend and remember to stay cool in the meantime. And just be safe this week, because heat is and the main reason I'm hopping on Facebook Live is because excessive heat, as morbid as this sounds, it can be a lot more lethal than other types of weather. There's heat kills more people than lightning and flooding combined every year on average in the United States. It's about 120, 130 people, unfortunately, who sadly pass away from excessive heat. So that's one of the main reasons I want to get on and get the message out that something to take seriously as you make your plans this week. And that's about it for now. I'll be back on WYFF News